Okay. Okay. Hello, Internet. This is Pojo. We are playing some Pillars of Eternity today. Gonna be loading it up and doing something silly and ridiculous. I've played just a little bit of Pillars of Eternity, not a terrible lot. And what I am going to be doing for this round is playing on the hardest mode in Iron Man, which, you know, sort of something that I tend to like to do a lot. Kind of a silly idea for this game. This game is very long and difficult, and I certainly don't know my way around it yet, but I kind of want to have at least one game where I'm just exploring the world and, like, being really paranoid and just trying to stay alive. So, this is going to be pretty interesting, and hopefully we'll be able to make it through. We've tried this once before. Got about a level in. Wasn't anything major. We were using a Cypher character, and I think we're going to change that up this time around and try for something that's a little bit less fiddly and in the middle of things. Cyphers are kind of probably the weakest choice that I could have made for an Iron Man run. They're an interesting class, but I'm actually a little more interested in playing with spells right now.
Blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern is only protection against the approaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
All right. So, picking characters. We know we want a female human. We can play with some other options as well. Something that gets extra intellect would be pretty interesting. We're definitely going to be looking for some kind of wizard type character. I don't really feel like playing a godlike. They're really interesting, but I'm going to leave them alone for now. And yeah. Okay. So. Oh, whoops. What just happened here? I'm actually zeroed out and started looking at my own stream. Okay, so here we are. Yes, so I'm going to be going for a human, probably a member of the Savannah folk, since I kind of like the way that they look. I'm going to be playing with that. Oh yeah, and there's different outfits for each of the different wizards, yes. Yeah, kind of interesting like that. What else we got? A couple of other things that we could play with. We could do something with elves. Elves are kind of... Orlans seem like sort of the halfling equivalent of this game. Maua are pretty interesting in general. There are two different types, yeah, coastal and island. Island and Mauas are kind of fascinating, but I think I'm good there. What about dwarves? Mountain and boreal. I do like mountain dwarves. And it might be a good idea to pick something that has a little bit of survival instinct. Resolve, might, and perception. Contributes to both damage and healing as well as fortitude, defense. Perception is really handy, and Orlans are kind of cool. What kind of Orlans do we have? Alright. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go ahead and go with a human Savannah folk. The extra accuracy and damage from fighting spirit is pretty handy. Humans have additional resolve and might, both of which are fairly important, and I'm kind of interested in at this point. And I'm going to be opting for a wizard, I believe. Something I'm fairly common with. But let's look over the other choices real quick, just to see if there's anything that we'd really like to use. Chanters, lots of passive effects, not going to be so good early on, which is something that I kind of need to worry about right now. Paladins and priests, pretty straightforward there. You have your faith and conviction and your holy radiance. Priests actually are a really solid choice if I want somebody who can essentially heal themselves and keep themselves alive. Looks like their endurance starting is pretty low. Monks, you can usually do a ridiculous amount of weird things with monks, but you also tend to have to forego a lot of interesting items since their unarmed attacks are some of the most interesting things about them. And I kind of like being able to kit out my characters, find things that will provide some sort of unique advantage. A ranger would not actually be a terrible choice. They're pretty... Let's see here. Do they have other abilities? Soul-bonded animal companions, and which have high damage reduction, which is pretty sweet. But if you lose it, then you suffer, which is problematic. And rogues are, of course, quite nice. But I think what I'm actually going to go for is the wizard. I want something that has a lot of long-range abilities, that can stay out of a fight and be really, really careful. And yeah, I'm going to opt for that. Okay, so first thing first, need to pick spells. Things like Wizard's Double will grant exceptional deflection against melee and ranged attacks. Interestingly enough, this is actually a pretty... This is sort of a lose more option, or rather a... No, this is actually fairly fascinating. Plus 40 deflection until hit or critically hit. Hits obviously are less likely to happen when you have plus 40 deflection. It's a really sizable amount of deflection. But then if you start to get hit, you're going to get hit more and more really, really fast. Which makes Wizard's Double a pretty fascinating concept. There's a possibility that this is actually a misread, and what's going on is it's very similar to the mirror image spell from D&D, where if you get shot at, it just basically pops one of them. But I don't think that's what's going on here. I'm pretty sure that this is read as written. And that might be something we want to consider. Spirit Shield gives me damage reduction and a concentration bonus, both of which are super handy. I'm actually thinking I'm going to put a point into that first. Thrust of Tattered Veils. High chance to disrupt enemy spellcasters, which will be very important probably fairly early on, but probably not the most immediate thing that I need to worry about. Minoletta's Minor Missiles. It's almost certainly the magic spell, the magic missile spell of this game. Fleet Feet. Who doesn't want to be able to disengage quickly? That actually might be something that's going to be extremely handy early on. And Parasitic Staff. Exceptional Draining Quarterstaff. That gives endurance on a successful strike. On the one hand, I have to engage closely to actually make that work. On the other hand, that's actually a pretty solid option for early on. I'm concerned that it might not scale well, and that I should perhaps opt for something that's going to be a little less ridiculous. We could look at whatever's going to give me the best damage, like Jolting Touch, for example. That's going to be a touch spell, though. Speed Average is also a touch spell. I want to opt for largely ranged spells here, since what I'm looking for is to protect myself as much as possible. Dazing Lights can be pretty handy, but we're going to be wanting to try to take characters out of the game as fast as possible. Chill Fog. Blindingly white icy fog that inflicts blindness and freeze damage over time to any in the area of effect. That's pretty solid for dealing with caster-type characters with ranged archers, which is something that we want to worry about. It's also a really nice AoE attack early on, and we have a single target spell, so that's a solid choice to select. And I believe I already selected Fleet Feet. So that makes 4. Chill Fog, a damage spell, a shield spell, and an escape spell. Yeah, I think that looks great. Okay, so Constitution and Might. A little bit of Constitution is not going to hurt here. Might is highly recommended for Wizard because it increases damage and healing. We should probably look at maxing that. Dexterity increases speed of actions, which is pretty solid. Might actually increases the reflex defense. I do want to look at all of my defenses pretty carefully. Fortitude, Fortitude. That's extra endurance and health, which is super important. Okay, Intellect. What's this going to give me? The Will defense, which is fairly relevant, yes, and is highly recommended, of course. We might have to sap something else. Resolve. That's internal concentration, which is fairly important for casting spells. Perception, which allows me to notice things that are happening in the background. And also contributes to accuracy and reflex. And grants a bonus to interrupting things. The ability to interrupt things is pretty relevant. All of these stats are actually really quite good, and it's really a question of how glass cannon-y I want to be versus how much I would like other things to happen. Generally, I want to be bursting things down as fast as possible. Wizards have a limited amount of spells to work with, so having high might is definitely crucial. It's weird that I can only go up to 18. I would have sworn that 19 was the max. 17 plus 1 for human. Okay, I guess 17 is the normal max, and 18 is the current max. So that's useful. Oh no, 19 is the max. Okay. Intellect is highly recommended. Dexterity is highly recommended. I think I'm going to push more for intellect than dexterity. This is all about action speed, which is how fast spells work. Let's opt for 12. I don't think that Pillars of Eternity uses the 2-point capstone system, which is so relevant in D&D games. Typically 2 points means an extra point in something else, but I think in this case every point matters for everything, and that's kind of useful. But even so, gotta keep them in nice round numbers where I can. Keep that might of 19. I've got the 10 resolve, which I think is solid. I don't think I want to drop any stats below, especially considering that accuracy is so relevant. And will saves are pretty crucial at times. We will see how long this character lasts, but I think I'm pretty happy with her. Oh, and we can add to some more things. I can be from the Deadfire Archipelago. Honestly, I might just go with whatever looks coolest. Old Valia is pretty sweet. Yeah, that's nice. The Deadfire Archipelago has a nice little leather armor thing going on. Exponal Plains. Rautide, Living Lands, The White That Wends. And the Adir Empire, which gives you extra resolve. I think we want to opt for something other than resolve. Dexterity is good, as is intellect. And Old Valia, yeah, rich, proud, cultural heritage. Counting many humans and dwarves, the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. That sounds fantastic. It's exactly the kind of character that I want. To that extent, let's consider being a merchant. We can also be mercenary, artist or dissident, colonist, part of a group that founded a fledgling colony in a distant land. What do we want to be in life? It's a very important question. Do we want to be a dissident, an artist, an aristocrat? This character's looking a bit aristocratic. I think I'm going to opt for that. Okay, let's fiddle around with her head just a little bit. pick the one that seems the most noble and interesting. Huh, that's an interesting hairstyle. Fancy. Kind of like it. Actually, kind of like quite a few of these. Long hair is not super working for me, but that's really actually very well crafted. These are pretty good for low resolution hairstyles. They all look pretty solid. And that's hard to do. As anyone who has played a lot of Bethesda games can attest. Yeah, these are not bad at all for a really low resolution. Ooh, okay. Huh, you know, I kind of like the ponytail. I've almost never gone for a character with a ponytail before, but I don't know, something about the angle of that just looks really nice. I kind of like how that's looking. It's good. Nobility as measured by length of hair.
Leading the way. Attack!
Oh, so snooty. Yeah,
They'll never know I'm here.
I really like the smooth one,
I shall lead us. Let's go!
and I've tried a couple of the other ones before, but
Yes. Leading
man,
the way.
I think I've got to go with the snooty lady. Okay, we're gonna go with snooty. My merchant characters are almost always named Alina, and this aristocrat will be no different. So, here we go. Ah, that brings back memories. Alright, welcome to the Gilded Vale. This tutorial section I have been through. I'm fairly familiar with it.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who'd be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path clear. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, of course. In which case you'll be dead in a day.
Pro tip, drink water.
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water.
The water's technically the more important
I know
thing.
you want to hunt before it gets much darker. But see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Yeah, that's right, Sparfle. Go do your thing. Okay, so we can ask some basic questions
Nothing you
about
won't see.
where
Of course,
stuff
all
is,
the ones around here have been ransacked, and nothing you won't see on half the hills of their
where this is.
Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pond.
Oh, that's a lot of different words that we don't necessarily understand yet. But all in all,
Got
decent for
different
world
names.
building.
Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Okay, so we know the Ingwithans built this
Not if you
place.
hurry about it, not if the weather holds it.
What kind of
This
weather?
time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beowig, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Alright, so essentially our fade generates crazy
They don't
storms.
got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories.
Maybe I do.
It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul
Interesting.
butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that. Hold
Soul
on.
holders.
Take
Okay.
someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot. Not like most of this lot. If you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep. Kalisha. Kalisha!
No promises.
What kind
All
of
right.
guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
I really like Kalisha.
Theoden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. So Bewick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Seems like a good plan.
You heard the man. Let's
I
get
shall.
going before you keel over.
Okay, so the man knows a lot more than than I gave him credit for. I've heard his spiel a couple times now, and yeah, seems to be pretty much on top of things. Giving you a lot of interesting information that's going to be useful to you immediately, as well as some that's probably going to be useful to me later. Okay, so scouting mode. While scouting, character's ability to hide hidden objects is based on her mechanics skill. That's interesting. But yes, so scouting mode's pretty sweet. Moving towards a character accelerates how quickly they will detect you. Okay. Standard scouting stuff. I think I must have accidentally entered scouting mode, which is why that happened. Oh yes, it's the Alt key. Okay. So I can pick this lock if I choose to.
Yes,
First I need a
I'll
lockpick.
handle this.
Oh, it actually requires mechanics, which is interesting. People in the world are neutral or friendly. It's totally fine.
Anyone
Stay
need
quiet.
supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
And tab highlights useful items. Okay. Good stuff. Well, first things first, rob everyone blind. Welcome to an Obsidian game.
I'll have this open in no time.
Oh, hey, I got a lockpick. Yeah,
It's done.
excellent. Okay, stole all the useful stuff in this area. Theoden can sell me more. He's transfixed by a
Got
tear
a
in the
whole
seam of
wagon
his
full of goods
tunic.
to sell. Not enough shirts for the road.
And has totally
Say, is
uneven
there anything
stubble.
you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Yes, easy to fleece. No idea what he's doing. Okay, what have we got? Minor endurance. So endurance is actually health in this game, which is fairly important. So we want healing potions, and probably regeneration potions as well. Dire wooden clothing. That belongs to Kalisha. Is Kalisha wearing something right now? Scale armor. DR7 recovery speed -35. Dire wooden clothing does nothing. Okay, so yeah, we
Something
can
else
sell
you
the
need?
clothing.
Looks like we're
Okay, and that gives us 75 copper pieces, which we can then use to buy other things. First things first, let's see what our items are. I have a scepter. Looks like it's a ranged item, so I'm good with that.
something else you need? I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire.
Oh,
I'm trying to
he's
establish
like
new
me.
business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
Oh, I can totally trash talk him, but I'm not gonna. Gotta be nice to people. Oh, I have a rank and a disposition. I wonder what disposition I just ranked up in.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here. Colonies used to include Rayet Ceres and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
Okay. So these guys are all
Does
filthy
it seem
rebels
friendlier
from...
than Rayet Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
Filthy rebels from what used to be my homeland. Okay. Deerwood is a former Adir colony. Aw. Aw, I made him blush. Okay, so yeah.
Something else you need?
let's see. I'm pretty sure you sell lockpicks, and lockpicks seem like something that I'm going to want a lot of. I'm also probably going to want a lot of potions of regeneration, but I don't have that much money right now, so let's just get the lockpicks. Okay, so that's the first set of basic things. It'd be nice if we could lock our screen here. I might have to set it to window mode or something. Okay.
Let's keep quiet.
Fallen
I'm looking
trees.
forward to trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Okay, good to know. Basically just gonna take a look around. Exploration is the key. You can open the map to see stuff you've explored. Okay, good. Good. Do know how to use a map. So, this is Pillars of Eternity. Those of you who haven't heard of it before, it's a game by BioWare. Whoa, wait. Which company makes this? Is it Obsidian? It's not Obsidian, because Obsidian makes Torment. So this is the other company that's a split up with BioWare. Or is it BioWare? Oh my gosh. I suddenly don't remember this, and that's making me very sad. Okay. Oh, okay, this is Obsidian Entertainment. Whoever makes Planescape Torment or Torment Tides of Numenera is a different set. So this is one of the old split-offs of the Black Isle people who made the original Baldur's Gate, Pillars of Eternity, Planescape Torment, of course, and a lot of other like amazing CRPGs from the old days. And this is their big Kickstarter nostalgia project, Pillars of Eternity. It is quite beautiful.
This is recent. Not good.
Has a lot of interesting stuff in it that I've seen so far. We're already uncovering parts of the world that seem to be pretty threatening. Foreshadowing. Trying to figure out where everything is. And might as well just map out the entire map. So, yeah, these games are largely based off of complex rule sets similar to old D&D games. That's where they originally had their roots, as replicants, or rather attempts to use D&D rule sets in live-action games, which worked pretty well, all in all. It's based off of a largely real-time but pause-based system, where you pause and give orders to your characters.
The better part of valor.
But pretty much every action you do can mirror a rule set in an RPG. Although, since Pillars is not itself an RPG, or not in itself a tabletop RPG, it can have some rules that are different from its previous predecessors. Yes, anyways. I don't know a huge amount about this game yet, as I've mentioned. I've played through this one section, and a little bit into the next, like the very first chapter. I think this is like sort of the prelude, and I've gotten to like sort of the first area on the official map. So we're just going to be doing some basic like exploring around. There was that guy. We don't need to talk to, I believe, but it might be worth it to try. Assuming we remember where he is. I think he's standing over there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. I guess he just left. Okay. So obviously we want all of the little goodies that we can find. Want to do as much exploring as possible before we actually get to the main
Shouldn't stray
quest.
too far. Let's.
I'm here.
Level up and
What you need?
get ourselves in good shape. Okay, Kalisha can have AI scripts. We go with an aggressive one. Knock down and discipline Barrage at the first opportunities. Clear out what might be used. Okay, sounds good.
I'm here.
And you, I don't think I want you to have an AI script at all, because I'm going to be largely controlling you, and I don't want you to waste your spells. Okay. So here's our first fight. And they've engaged us. I can't hit them, and probably should. I have some other options as well, but mostly what I want to do is get that guy
I'm here.
into combat and get Kalisha to engage early on. Try to get this person moving. Okay, cool. The way that my spellbook works, as far as I know, is I have multiple spells that I can cast, but only... Oh, interesting. Will that hit her, is the question. These is targets in the area, so I'm assuming... Well, worth testing. This is the best time to figure that out. Okay, the answer is no, it does not hit allies. But it should daze everyone who is not Kalisha.
I'm here.
And that'll allow me a little bit of time to sort of work through these wolves. Okay. And now it's just the one.
What you need?
Kalisha's not taking a lot of damage, so we're just going to handle this nice and lightly. Not going to waste our abilities if we don't have to. Although I think they might be per encounter. Ooh, that's a really good question. 1, 2 per encounter. And we'll see if spells are per encounter as well, but I can use at least 2 of
I'm
these.
here.
Okay. That was a critical on Kalisha. It was not my own spell messing with me. Good to establish that right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm attacking. Okay.
Indeed.
Okay.
What you need?
So we did okay there. Kalisha's endurance is down a little bit. She has her sort of... So the way that endurance works in this game is that you have a set of like actual health, or like a full health bar, which is currently at 225 out of 283. And then you have sort of your per encounter health bar.
Yes.
So you can endure multiple fights,
This is
but over time, damage will stack up. It's kind of like a temporary healing system. Okay, so Kalisha obviously knows that I'm an aristocrat, some big shot noble family. So, the question is, should I be snooty? My titles were purchased, not inherited. Ooh, ha! That's cute customization. Some clout among the elite. Royal blood runs through my veins. So my aristocracy can be political, purchased, or by virtue of blood. All of which is pretty amazing. That's kind of interesting. I think that I want this character to be sort of a snooty landed noble, so I'm gonna go with that. Jealous family members whispered into my father's ear and I was disinherited. Family was ousted from power, some are still held captive. I don't want to rule. Oh, so good. I kind of like someone tried to poison me, but oh man, that's really lame as an excuse to just leave. How about let's go with the jealous family members and the disinheritance. Okay. Lord Radric's offer makes girl think. Okay, so yes, I don't think I'm gonna be staying here. Putting so much time and distance in my old life. Probably wander for a while. Somewhere I can make some money. Ooh, money, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna reclaim our throne. That's the plan. First things first, money and power. Alright. I can ask her some stuff about the Deerwood. People having trouble giving birth. Weird stuff going on. Have to ask her sister. Her sister's in Gilded Vale, and her brother's in Rautai and Adir. I'm curious as to which of these characters is going to be important. I'm sure that the sister in Gilded Vale will probably be somebody that I need to go and find, especially since Kaliska is talking about her. Doing guide work in Ixamiddle. Okay, yes. So that'll be good. So now
Yes.
we have to go make sure that we have water. I mean, can I quick save? I can't quick save. It's Trial of Iron. Everything is gonna be very scary. I could easily die at any time. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
So, I had 2 spells available, and now I only have 1, which means that these are not renewable. And that's something I'm going to have to really watch out for, because... Wait. Interesting. Fleet Feet is combat only, but Meanolotta's minor missiles is not.
I'm here.
I don't know why that is, but it's intriguing. Okay, so Sparkle's over here, I assume.
What a surprise. Sparkle went hunting. At least he left the water skins. Come on.
Yeah, I do need those to live. Yeah, full water skin.
Sparkle, are you alright?
Okay. We'll have to decide whether or not we want to read these things aloud to people. Also, why is Twitch in full screen? I would like to be able to see this. Hey ho! I've got people in Twitch. Sorry, I didn't have my chat open. Yeah, Devin, I'm playing Path of the Damned with Trial of Iron on, and things are about to get crazy, and I'm probably gonna die. It's gonna be pretty exciting. Alright, so we've got flankers. That person's our archer. I think what we want to do is engage the archer first and just try and get her away. Let's go. Ow! Oh crap, I'm gonna get engaged. Oh, that's not good for me. Nope, I'm engaged. Okay. Alright, well, keep on the hunter for now. I'll just try to daze this guy. Okay, that worked. This guy's knocked down, so I'm just gonna go take care of this hunter. I don't want to be in this fight any longer than I have to. Text reflex and what? I don't know if they get attacks of opportunity when I'm casting in front of them. Nope, they don't. Okay. Okay. And they're down. So now we get the hunter. Kaliska takes a hit. I took quite a lot of hits. And I'm not managing my auto attacks after casting spells very well. That's something that I'm going to have to learn to do very quickly.
Come on, we
Okay.
have to get back to camp.
Yes, we do.
I'm here.
Okay, so I'm full up again. Endurance is 40 out of 40. Okay, cool. It'd be useful to hotbar our items. Yes, these ones. Get both of those healing potions in the hotbar. And get moving.
Indeed.
Camp's up there. A little bit lost. Okay, so looks like we have another hunter here. Same sort of basic deal. Wanna think we want to engage the larger guy first. Because if we don't engage him in combat, he can walk right past us. And now that they're grouped up, we can use our class ability. Nice. And there's that daze. Good stuff. Let's do it one more time. Could knock somebody down here, but I think it's probably better to just keep it on. Keep on keeping on. And since we've got Kaliska attacking that one, let's just focus him down. Come on. Kaliska, you lovely, lovely tank. Okay, cool.
What you need?
It's totally okay that she's taking damage right now. In fact, she seems to be regenerating some of that health for some reason. Despite the fact that I haven't given her any reason to. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
I can't loot until this is over. That's fairly important to note. Fortunately, that archer's not going to last very long on his own. Okay.
What you need?
Okay, that worked pretty well. Oh, and that was looting all three of them, which is pretty useful. Okay, so the endurance that Kaliska was regenerating actually comes straight out of her health points. She took a lot more damage in that fight than you would expect. That's kind of fascinating.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Indeed.
Oh, no, don't rush it in. I want you to lead and you to follow.
What you need?
Indeed.
What you need?
Indeed what you need. And everybody's dead. Okay. So, I've got enough lore that I might actually be able to make this. Intellect 15, judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck. Oh man, I think I just made that actually. I think my intellect is only 15. So, yes, if Galloway told you to stop protecting drones, would you? And we're gonna take a brief break to argue theology with the Glenfathan. Unsurprisingly, this definitely pisses him off. But Heoden gets away. So, now comes the fun. We need to engage the Glenfathan.
Yeah.
Let's try to knock the leader down right away. Okay, it said disengage. Does that mean that I disengaged? Maybe not. In any case, they are now grouping. Oh, that is a grouping if I've ever seen one. Woo! Let's double check and make sure that we got this. We got this. Oh, bam. Okay. So I'm pretty sure sneak attacks might work on flank targets. We'll see. Heoden's gonna take some damage. That much is pretty certain. But Hunter number 1 is almost down. Okay. So this is going my way pretty quickly, actually. As long as we don't do anything stupid like disengaging. Oh, a critical hit. Fantastic. So fantastic. Again, it would be ideal to knock this guy down. Oh no, wait, he's almost dead. Okay. Be ideal to knock this guy down. So let's make sure that we've got that set up. And rock and roll. Ah, didn't work. Okay. A blinding strike, perhaps? This is one per encounter, so totally worth doing. Especially if it'll save Heodan's life, because Heodan's in a lot of trouble. Alright. Whew. And that's everybody. We have time to raid... Okay. That's not very good wind. That's very bad wind, in fact.
Get inside! Run!
Thanks, Odema. You're a prince. Okay. Huh. So we didn't horribly die in the very first encounter. And that's good.